So we're going to do something a bit different in the song practice this week. We're not learning a song, we're actually going to create our own song using a chord progression. Now, some of you might not be into the creative side of playing, but it's still really important to understand how it works. So let's take a look. Okay, so we want to compose our own song. So I'm giving you 4 steps to follow to do this. Now, step number 1 is you need to pick a key. You need to pick a scale. Now, I would strongly suggest doing this first in C major because it's so easy. It's just all the white notes. You don't have to think too much about it. As long as you're hitting white notes, you're not going to go far wrong. Now, the second thing you need to do is pick 4 chords from that scale, and don't bother with the 7th chord. Don't bother with the diminished. It's not used very often in music writing. It sounds a bit off. It sounds a bit odd. The best thing to do when you're learning is just to ignore it for now. So pick 4 chords, any 4 chords from 1 to 6, and put them in any order you like. The third thing you'll then need to do is find the best inversions for the 4 chords you've picked. And then the last thing you'll need to do, the 4th step, is to add your melody to your 4 chords. And you do that just by using the scale. So if we're writing this in the C major scale, you can just pick any notes from the C major scale to play over your 4 chords and it will work. And you'll see what I mean now because I'm going to do this with you. So, number 1, we need to pick a scale. Well, let's just keep it simple. Let's just pick the C major scale for now because it's nice and easy. So C major scale we know is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. But we're going to forget about the B. We're not bothered about the B for now. So we're going to pick 4 chords between C, D, E, F, G, A. And we already know what these chords are because we learnt them earlier. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major and A minor. So I'm going to pick 4 of those in any order. So let's pick 5, 2, 4, 1. Now I have actually ended it on the root note, the 1, the C. But you don't have to at all. You can do what you like. So 5, 2, 4, 1. So that's a G, which is the 5, a D, which is the 2, the D minor, an F major, which is the 4, and the C, which is the 1. So G, D, F, C. G major, D minor, F major, C major. So next step, step 3, we need to find inversions we like to play these 4 chords. I don't want to play root position because the root position just doesn't sound as professional. It doesn't sound as good. So first up, let's play the 4 chords in their root position. We have G major, D minor, F major, C major. But I don't want to play that because it's way too jumpy. And it doesn't sound that good. So we're going to use inversions. Now, I tend, especially when I'm in C major, to use, if I'm starting on a G, to use it in 2nd position. So that's with the G in the middle. So if you think of the 3 positions of G major, that's root position. And then we have 1st position by putting the G at the top. And then we have 2nd position, so the G will be in the middle. So I like to start on 2nd position. Now you can do what you want when you're playing and working out your own inversions. So I'm going to play the G in its 2nd position. So the next chord I need to get to is a D minor. So let's try all 3 positions of D minor. So we go from the G to the D in root position. Now this is great, it sounds really nice. And it's really simple, and I don't have to move my thumb because it shares the D. But let's try going to the D in 2nd position. This is a bit more of a jump, and I don't like that as much. So root position's better, but let's try 2nd position. So G, and this 2nd position would be obviously the A in the bottom. So let's try that. That's way too big of a jump, isn't it? So the best one by far is to go from the G, if I'm playing it in 2nd position, to the D minor in root position. That sounds really nice. So from the D, I want to go to the F. So the first thing I do is check, do I share any notes? Well, I do. And F is F, A and C. I've already got the F and the A pressed down here. So all I need to do is add the C to go from a D minor to an F major. I mean, I could go up, but I'm jumping. So once I'm on F major, I need to move to the C. And you can probably see already, I've already got the C held down with the thumb. So I'll just move to the C in root position. Here's my F to C in root position. If I go F to C in first position, I've got to do a bit of a jump. And if I go from my F to C in second position, that's a huge jump. So it's going to be F to C in root position. So I think I've worked out what I want to do with my inversions here. G in second position, D minor in root position, F in second position, and C in root. So actually we're going second position, root, second position, root. So let's try that with a bit of rhythm and a bass and see how it sounds. Well, that's sounding really good. So the last thing we need to do is create a melody. Now we can just sing a melody over the top, but if you don't feel like singing, you can just use the scale. So we'll use the C major scale for this because we've written this chord progression in C major. So you can record your chords and then have a go at a melody, or you can play them with your left hand. So if I was playing with my left hand, G, D, F, C, and I wanted to play a melody, I can use any of the C major scale notes to make a melody. Now, a little tip, the 4th and the 7th are not that strong. So if you want to make a really good melody, don't use the 4th and the 7th note too much. So in a C major scale, the 4th and the 7th is the F and the B. So try not to hit them too much. And another really good tip is to start your melody on the root of the chord note you're on. So if I was starting on a G, my melody could start on a G. Going to the D, going to the F, I'll end on the C because I've ended on a C. So always think about the chord you're on. That will help with your melody notes, but you can choose any notes you like. But you don't have to get too complicated here. Keep it really simple. I could pick just 2 notes, so I could use just say A and G. Let's give that a go. That still works. So you can actually do whatever you want. You'll notice I'm not using the F and B too much. I can use them, I just don't tend to end on them. So let's try something else. And it's really up to you to give this a go and see what you like the sound of, because you might think my melody making up is totally rubbish. It doesn't matter. It's all interpretation. What sounds good to you is a good song, no matter what you're doing. When you start really understanding how to use the notes, you can start properly improvising, which my other course, the Chord Jammer course, will show you how to do. So if I was making up a song to this chord progression I've just made up, later. For now, just concentrate on your chords, concentrate on your inversions, and have a little go at making up a melody using the notes of a C major scale. So that's what I want you to do this week. Compose your own song. Okay, so there you have it. You've got your 4 parts to creating your song this week. You need to pick your 4 chords. You need to look at the best inversions for playing those chords, and then you need to pick a melody using the scale the chords came from. Follow the song practice video to help you with your song. Do your scales practice, do all of your exercises. In the next lesson, we're going to be looking at the harmonic and melodic versions of that D minor. And we're going to be learning one of the most fascinating tools when it comes to playing piano, especially in creative piano, and that's the circle of fifths. And that's really going to help with your key signatures as well. And then at the end of the next lesson, we are going to play about with creating some music from the circle of fifths as well. So I'll see you then.